Welcome everyone here to the Rectory for Billy and Derry Keehan. Well, there's still an awful lot of coronavirus in the news. The R rate is going up. Fears of local lockdowns, and indeed the terrible long-term effects that some people have had the virus, especially medical staff, and are still suffering from the effects months afterwards, called long COVID, I believe. This virus, this crisis, and we're still in it, is bringing out the best and bringing out the worst in human nature. But then I suspect human nature doesn't change. We are the same. We may have progressed in our technology and in many things, but we are still in heart and mind. We are still the same people that our grandparents were. The Red Cross, when dealing with the Spanish flu in 1918, also had to deal with some of the problems of people not wanting to wear face masks, not obeying the rules, and they came up with a lovely poem just to reinforce their point. And this is it from 1918. Obey the laws and wear the gauze. Protect your jaws from septic pores. Septic pores, Rusty? You got any of those? No, we don't. But I think that little ditty that the Red Cross had to pen 102 years ago is quite true. However, let's think of the best of human nature and the best that God inspires us to be. A story from 1901 and from Burton Port in County Donegal, and the local doctor back in 1901, the year that Queen Victoria died, was Dr. William Smith. He was the only doctor, the local doctor. He knew everybody. And a message came to him that from one of the islands just lying off the Donegal coast, that a terrible sickness had broken out. Would he row across and visit? And he did. He rowed and found that typhus had broken out and had affected the fishing family so badly that they simply could not leave the house, so therefore they could not fish, therefore they were starving. So Dr. Smith every day rowed across with food, with provisions. He was the chemist, he was the nurse, he was the cleaner. He did everything for these families as best as he could for days and days and days. And when the people in the mainland heard it was typhus, they wouldn't go near the island. They wouldn't help him. They would do nothing. They were so afraid of catching the infection. But Dr. Smith could do all he could, but he realised that the very worst of the cases needed to be hospitalised, and therefore they had to be transferred to the mainland. Nobody would lend a boat. Nobody would give a boat. Nobody would help him. However, he knew a local government inspector. He was willing to help, and so the two men managed to find a wrecked boat, a damaged boat lying on a beach. They did it up, they tried to repair it, and it would be big enough to carry the patients to the mainland, by which they then could be transferred to the main hospital. However, they were not boat builders, and despite their best efforts, the boat began to leak. So the two men rowed as the patients, sick with typhus, actually had to bail the water out. However, they made it to Donegal mainland. Dr. Smith, got all his patients hospitalised, and they all survived. Nobody died of the typhus that year. One person died, and I'm afraid it was Dr. Smith himself. He was so weakened by his hard work over weeks and weeks that he himself, I don't think it was of the typhus, but I think he simply wore himself out in his good deeds and in his duty and in his work. He died. And this is the tribute that was paid to him by the British Medical Journal. William Smith is a glory to the whole profession, and his death in the prime of manhood must be counted more truly heroic than a death in battle. Soldiers die for their country in the fierce joy of combat. William Smith died for his fellow men with nothing to cheer him on but the sense of duty. Yes. So William Smith, like many of our medical professionals today, had a vocation, a calling to help people, to love people, and to do everything he could to help them. And of course, as the first epistle of John says, my dear children, let us put our love not into words or into talk, put into deeds, and make our love real. There's a lovely, lovely little prayer. I actually think maybe the best prayers are little prayers. God, give me work till life shall end, and life till my work be done. Amen.